About those things because those things are unlikely. Since they're unlikely, we're not worried for them. We follow the majority. Gemara says, 1 second, how could you say we allow ourselves to buy eggs from Gentiles? The dilma da'of tamininu. Maybe it comes from a non-kosher bird. That's already not something which is not unlikely. That's very likely. There are lots of birds that aren't kosher. Amar Avua de Shmuel, the father of Shmuel, said, "Ba'omer shel of ploni tahar." We're talking about where the Gentile says, this egg comes from this particular bird which is kosher. It comes from the chicken. It comes from the duck. It comes from the goose. So we know that that's a kosher bird. And since he says this egg comes from this kosher bird, we can check. We can go find eggs from that kosher bird. And we could compare it. And we can see if it looks alike, that we know it's the same thing. So because we can, follow up on what he said, he's afraid to lie. Because we're going to find out if he lies. So anything which is going to come out where he knows we can check on him, he's not going to lie. So therefore, we can rely on him.
All the eggs look alike, Rabbi. How do you
They don't look alike. So we're going to see today. They don't look alike. So the Gemara asks, why do we require that he say it's coming from this particular kosher bird, of ploni, this particular type of bird, let's say the chicken or the turkey, which is kosher? Why don't we just say that he has to say, why isn't it enough if he just were to say it comes from a kosher bird? Because the answer is, he might argue, if you bring another egg that doesn't look like this one, he might say, oh, all right, this egg doesn't look like that one, but my egg came from a different kosher bird. Yachi, if you would just say it comes from a kosher bird, you would have the ability of avoiding any type of confrontation. So that's not going to be enough in order for us to be able to trust him. Asks the Gemara, why do we need to trust him? Because we know he knows we can check up on him by bringing bringing another egg from the bird that he claims this egg came from and comparing them. Asks the Gemara, why aren't we checking with the characteristics of eggs? Forget about trusting him. We can just check to see that this egg looks like the kosher ones. Baruch said all the eggs look the same. They don't. They're characteristics of the kosher birds. The Tanya went in a brisa. Like the signs of eggs, those are the signs of fish. What are you talking about? You think that the bird has the eggs of the same signs of fish? Fish, the fish have fins and scales. Those are the signs that make them kosher. Eggs don't have fins and scales. Read the price like this. Say it like this. Simane ubredagim. The signs of the eggs of the fish, as Paul said of the caviar, they are like the signs of the fish. There are certain signs of caviar. Rashi says they all stick together. If they all stick together, then you know it's kosher eggs. If they don't stick together, then it's not kosher eggs of fish. Tanya, and we learned Gabe Beitzim, similar to the fact that there are signs of kosher fish eggs, there are also signs in regards to fowl eggs. So we learned in a brisa the signs of bird eggs. These are the signs. Elu hein simane beitzim. These are the signs of fish, of egg, of bird eggs. Bird eggs. Kol shekoderes, any egg that is sharp, v'aglugolas, and it is circular. So I saw here they said it's pointed, plus it's spherical. It's like a round circle. In other words, rosho echad kad. One head of it has to be a circle. Rosho echad chad, and the other head of it is sharp, is pointy. So So when you have an egg where one side is like a circle and the other side is a little bit pointy, that is the egg which is tahora, that is kosher. That's the simane beitza.
This is a kosher
That's
fish.
the kosher egg of
Of
birds.
fish.
Of
Of
birds.
bird?
Of birds.
Oh.
The eggs
Birds
of birds. So what we're saying is just like fish just like the fish insides, the fish innards, the fish eggs have a characteristic. They all stick together, the kosher ones. So too the eggs of birds have characteristics. Their characteristics is pointy on one side and circle on the other side.
Kosher.
That's the kosher eggs, correct. But if it's Beis Rosheh HaKadin, both heads, both sides are pointy. I'm sorry, both sides are circular. O Beis Rosheh HaKadin, or both heads, both sides are pointy, then Tmeim. That means it is a non-kosher bird egg. Another sign of kosher bird eggs versus non-kosher bird eggs. Chelbon mibachutz, the white of the egg, the part that's like milk. The white of the egg in the kosher birds is on the outside. The chelmon and the yolk, the yellow of the egg, mibifnim, is on the inside. That is a sign of tahora, of a kosher bird. Chelmon mibachutz, but if the yolk, the yellow of the egg, is on the outside, the chelbon mibifnim, and the white of the egg is on the inside, that is tmeya. That is a sign of a non-kosher bird. Chelmon v'chelbon mu'uravim zeh bazeh. If naturally the yolk and the white are mixed with each other, it's not even that one's inside and the other's outside, they're just mixed with each other, yadua shi beitas hasheretz, then you know it is an egg of one of the 8 shratzim, one of the crawlers that are tameh when they are dead. So, now that we've explained the brisa, we're back to our question. We began by saying in a brisa that we're allowed to purchase eggs from non-Jews, and the Gemara explained that what did the brisa mean? If the non-Jew tells you this egg comes from this particular kosher bird, then you're allowed to purchase it from him because you can bring other eggs from that bird, compare them to this egg. So he knows that, because he knows he can't get away with any type of any lie. So he's going to say the truth. Once he's going to say the truth, you can trust him and you can buy it from him.
And the blood spot, Rabbi?
We're going to get to the blood spot soon. We're not up to that yet. Right? So now we have a question, but why do we need to trust him? And we know we can trust him because he knows he can be proven wrong. Forget about trusting him. Just look and see at the egg. Does it have a pointy head and a round head? And does it have yolk on the inside and white on the outside? It has those signs, and you know it's a kosher bird, it's a kosher egg. So the answer is you couldn't check lo tzricha tichatuchos, because the eggs are cut. Since the eggs are cut, so you can't check whether the head is pointy or round. So I said, okay, so what did it's cut? The livtok b'chelmon v'chelbon. So check and see where's the white and where's the yolk. If the white is on the outside and the yolk is on the inside, you know it's kosher. Why do you need to trust the non-Jew and have him tell us that it comes from this particular bird? The answer is bitrufos bikara. They're all mixed up together in a bowl. Since they're mixed up in a bowl, you can't tell anymore where is the yolk and where is the egg, where is the white. So one second, if it's mixed up in a bowl, we wouldn't buy it from a non-Jew. Okay, high gavin, where it's all mixed up in a bowl. Would we buy it from the non-Jews? Well, we learned in a brisa, ein mochrin beitza trufa lo'ovid kochavim. We do not sell the eggs of a treifa. Beitza treifa. We don't sell the eggs of a treifa to a Gentile, because if we sell the eggs of a chicken that's a treifa to a Gentile, he might turn around and sell it to a Jew, and a Jew's going to end up eating non-kosher. Elim kain trufa bekara, unless it's already mixed up together in a bowl, because if it's mixed up in a bowl, the Jews know not to buy it from him, so then you can sell it to him. Therefore, here's the bottom line. And lokamen beitzim trufos pikar. You're not allowed to buy eggs that are mixed up in a bowl from a Gentile. So that can't be the case here, right? Again, so we're back to the question. What does the Brisa mean? The Brisa began by telling us if you buy eggs from a non-Jew, and he tells you that they're from a particular kosher bird, they're kosher because you trust him, because he knows he could be found out. What do you mean? Why do you need to trust him? Let's just use the simanim. Elam, you're going to tell me we're trusting him because it's eggs mixed in a bowl. We would never then buy it from the non-Jew. Elam, Reb Zeres said, we can't use the simanim. Simanim lav d'oraisa. The signs of bird eggs are not d'oraisa. It's not biblical. The Torah never said that bird eggs that are rounded and pointed and white on the outside and yolk on the inside are kosher. And there's no halach l'moshe misinai. There's no tradition saying that that's what's kosher. So we really can't rely on siman. If you're not going to say this, Hadam Rav Asi. Remember, Rav Asi said yesterday, Shmona Sveikos, saying there are 8 different types of birds that we don't know. We don't know if they're kosher or they're not kosher. If there's a biblical way of checking by checking the eggs, why don't we just check with their eggs? See, are their eggs pointed and circular and yolk on the inside and white on the outside? Ella, apparently, Shnamina, you see, Simanim lav d'oraisa. Okay, so since Simanim are not d'oraisa, so why can we buy an egg that seems to have these simanim from the non-Jew? Because we can trust the non-Jew. Why can we trust the non-Jew? Because he knows we can bring eggs from the type of bird that he says these eggs are from and compare them egg to egg. So he knows it can be found out. And therefore, he knows he has to say the truth, and therefore he will say the truth. So in a second, if we can't rely on the simanim, so what are we going to do with that second brisa? So for what law did the brisa mention that there are these simanim? Point of the eggs, pointy and rounded and yolk on the inside. We're not going to rely on it. So then what's the point of it? Answer the Gemara, Hachikam, this is what the brisa means. If a non-Jew tells you, here's an egg from a chicken, and Shnei Rashea Kadim, and then you look at this egg, and both heads are a circle. It's a round egg, like a circle, like a ball. Oh, Shnei Rashea Kadim. Or you look at the egg, and both sides are pointed. It's not rounded on one side and pointed on the other. It's like a football. Oh, Chelm b'chutz v'chelm b'fnim. Or you look at the egg, and you find that the yolk is on the outside, the yellow is on the outside, the white is on the inside. And even though he told you it came from a particular kosher bird, Vadai Tmeya, you know it's not kosher. If it's Reish Echad, if one head is Chad, is pointed, and Reish Echad Chad, but the other head is a circle, like a ball, and it is Chelbon Mibachutz, and the white is on the outside, the Chelmo Mibifnim, and the yolk is on the inside. He tells you, Shelof Plotni, it comes from a chicken, for example, or it comes from a pigeon, or a turtle dove, or a duck, or a goose, and he tells you V'taru, and it's kosher. So then, Smoch Aleihem, then you can rely on them. Then you can rely on them because, number one, it has these simanim, plus he's telling you the truth because he knows you can bring a similar such egg to prove him right or wrong. And you can rely on him.
Does this apply today? Do they sell eggs from kosher birds?
Oh, that I don't know. I doubt it.
Oh,
Why not?
seen it, huh?
Well, maybe in the Far East.
Right.
I don't know.
So
I
it
think
was
quail
kosher
eggs,
because
that's
it's
kosher.
not put.
That wouldn't be kosher. If it's pointed on both sides. 1 second, just to finish this point, the Gemara says, Bistama, but if you have an egg that he's selling you, and it looks like a kosher egg. It's rounded on the bottom, it's pointed on the top, it has a yolk on the inside, and it has a white on the outside. But he doesn't tell you that it came from this particular kosher bird. He just says, here it is. Lo tismoch aleim, you can't rely just on the simanim. Te'ika de'urva, because there are the eggs of the raven, Didami l'diona, which are similar, which look alike to the eggs of the pigeon.
So we do rely on the non-Jew.
Yeah.
So we do,
So the light
Ostrich
fixture.
egg.
or it's
So
the
this
Yonah
would be
here
egg.
is actually the dove. The raven eggs.
Really? Ostrich egg, circle.
No cone.
No cone
sphere,
at all.
no point.
So if he brings us eggs and he says it's kosher eggs, but he doesn't say a particular bird, then we don't rely on him because maybe it's from the raven, which looks like the kosher eggs. So in other words, we don't rely exclusively on the simanim, nor would we rely on a non-Jew who says that that the eggs came from kosher birds. The non-Jew has to say it came from this particular kosher bird, it came from the dove, it came from the chicken, it came from something in particular. Plus, in addition to saying it came from a particular kosher bird, we also need to see these simanim, these signs of the kosher eggs, namely the yolk on the inside, the white on the outside, and it being
But-
pointed and oval.
It still means that we do rely on him, ultimately.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
How come?
Because
Since when do we rely on a non-Jew?
we do. That's a very important point in Hilchos Kashrus. If it's something where he knows we could discover if he's not being honest, then he will be honest. It's called Milsa Da'avida Li'igluye, something which is destined to be revealed. So what's destined to be revealed,
But
we
Rabbi,
can
the
rely.
Gemara gives the example of the eggs of an orev that could resemble the eggs of a pigeon. So how could we discover that he's lying? You could say the eggs are from a pigeon when they were from an orev, and then we have no way to
nice question. Maybe they're not fully alike. Maybe they're just somewhat alike. But if you'd actually, if he says it's eggs from a pigeon, and you'd bring eggs of the pigeon, they would look. Maybe just
So
you have to
that's
look
why
at
we
them.
would not rely on a non-Jew for milk, because milk we would not.
No, there was a separate gezerah about milk, not to rely on the non-Jew for milk. That we saw back in the Masechet Avodah Zarah. There was a decree that they were mixing non-kosher milk with this milk. So there was a decree not to.
It's very hard to distinguish.
Between
but-
eggs, they all look
The
alike.
eggs, yeah, yeah. All right, you know.
I don't know.
He had a farm.
I don't know.
But
Okay.
that's-
Yeah,
you're right,
question.
Dad,
Is
right?
he?
No, I'm saying I don't remember.
But I don't think it's common. That is what you were asking about here. My question.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose me as a customer.
Also, that's true. That's true. Okay, so the Brisa spoke about eggs, and it taught us that the signs of a kosher egg is round on one side, pointed on the other side, and it's white on the outside, and the yolk is on the inside. Then the Brisa says, if you have an egg which is yolk on the outside and white on the inside, that wouldn't be kosher. If you have an egg that's pointed on both sides, it's not kosher. Rounded on both sides, it's not kosher. And then it said, if you had an egg which the yolk and the white were mixed with each other, that's already a sign of an egg of a sheretz, maybe of a latah, a lizard, or a turtle. So Amar Marsa, we said, chelbon v'chelmon mu'uravim zeh bazeh. If you have an egg where the yolk and the white are mixed with each other, v'yadua shehi beitzas hasheretz, and you can be sure that it is an egg of a sheretz. Asks the Gemara, lemai hilchasa. What halacha is that for? So Amar Avukva Bar Chama said, Loma, that's to tell you. Right, what do you need to know that it's an egg of a sheretz? That's to tell you, she'im rikma, that if there is a little bit of a membrane around it, vinikva, and there's a hole in this egg, then mitama, this egg will create tuma, v'ke'adasha, if what's inside the egg is the size of a lentil, because a sheretz can create tuma when it's the size of a lentil. So Maskef Ravina said, but there's other eggs that are also mixed, white and yolk, and they're not shratzim. Maybe it's an egg of a snake, and maybe what's inside of this thing is a snake, and if it's a snake, there is no tumah. Rava said like this: She'im rikma, if there is a membrane, there's some membrane. In other words, there's some rodent inside this egg. The achlan, somebody ate it. Lo ka'aleha mishum sheretz hashoretz al haaretz. If you got a warning, don't eat it, because if you eat it, you're violating the law of eating shratzim of the ground. So, and he ate it anyway. After accepting the warning, you would get malchus for this sin. Ihachis, the Gemara says, if that's the case, my iria ditmeya. Why does the Brisa tell us that it's a non-kosher tamei sheretz, afilu tahora nami? Even someone who eats a kosher egg before the bird has fully formed would violate this prohibition. The time is learned in a brisa. The verse says, "Kol hasheretz hashoretz al haaretz." All the crawlers of the earth don't eat. That is l'rabos. That's to include. Now turn to Sa'adim and Beis. Efrochim, the chicks, shalom niftachu einayim. If they haven't yet opened their eyes, you're not allowed to eat them. So now, why is the brisa? If the brisa is talking about this very early stage chick, why does it have to tell us about the non-kosher eggs? Even in a kosher egg, the very early stage chick would be a prohibition of eating it based on sheretz hashoretz al haaretz. The Gemara says no. And the kosher birds, it's a very early stage. It's really not biblically prohibited based of sheretz hashoretz al haaretz. It's only midrabanan that you're not supposed to eat it. Ukra, this pasuk of sheretz hashoretz al haaretz is a smachta ba'almos, just like a way to remember it. But it's really not prohibited, and that's what the Brisa says to tell us. But if you'd have a rodent egg with the signs of a rodent egg, and it's early stage creature coming inside of it, that would be sheretz hashoretz al haaretz with the biblical prohibition, and therefore, if there'd be a warning, a person would get lashes for that prohibition if he ate it. Okay, talking again about eggs. Tanarban Brisa. Gi'ulei beitzim. If you have non-kosher eggs cooked together with kosher eggs, mutarim, the kosher eggs are permitted because the taste that comes out of the non-kosher eggs is just considered water. It doesn't have the ability to put a taste into the kosher eggs. Another law, beitzim muzaros.
But only
The
for
eggs.
boiling.
What's that?
Only for hard boiling egg,
Okay.
not for scrambled.
Okay, could be. Maybe it's hard boiled.
Why you say that?
Beitzim muzaros. We saw this before. They're eggs that don't come from a male. Eggs of a chicken that come from the chicken just warming itself on the ground. So out of those eggs, you're never going to get a chick. So nefesh yafa tochlam. A person who's not very sensitive can eat them. And there's no problem. There's no problem in terms of halacha, in terms of eating them. Okay, now, fertilized eggs. Here you get into what Jason brought up, blood being in the egg. So if you have a fertilized egg, and nimtza koret dam, and you find on it a little like crumb worth of blood, zorikas hadam, you can throw away the blood, v'ochlas hashar, and eat the rest. Rabbi Yirmiyah said this law, you can throw away the blood and eat the rest, has to be that the blood didn't spread. So therefore, v'hu shenimtzal kesher shalah. It would have to be that you found this blood on the knot of the egg white. In other words, at the top of the wide part of the egg, because that's where the seed of the rooster is. That's where the chick starts to get formed. And if you find the blood there at the top of the wide part of the egg, that means that the blood hasn't yet spread. And then you can take it out and eat the rest. But if you were to find the blood already inside the egg on the yolk, that means that the blood spread through. because it started at the top. Now it must have spread through. So then the whole thing becomes non-kosher.
And hard boiled, just pick it out.
Hard boiled, it depends where you find it.
It doesn't make the kli unkosher or anything, right?
I don't think so.
Because there's a
So
shell,
the
right?
blood thing in a
Just
white,
moving the blood, that's it, what we do.
Rabbi, you see the blood spot in a white yolk, just take it out and it's okay. But
Yeah.
if you see it in a yellow,
That's
the
right.
whole egg is no good.
That's right.
Ah, okay.
Tani Dustai Avua de Rabbi Apotriki. Dustai, the father of Rabbi Apotriki, taught in a brisa. Lo Shanu, we didn't learn that you could eat the rest of the egg that had some blood in it. Ela Shanimtza Alachel Bon Shala. Only if the blood was found on the white of the egg. Aval Nimtza Alachel Bon Shala. But if it was found on the yolk of the egg, not enough to take off the blood. Afilu Beitza Sura. Even the egg itself is prohibited. My time of why, as we've been explaining, because the problem, the ruining has spread, has been thrown through the whole thing. It's spread through the whole thing. In other words, the blood has gotten through the entirety of the egg. Amalei Rav Gvia, mi Beit Katil Rav Ashi. Rav Gvia from Beit Katil said to Rav Ashi, Ibcha Tanitana Kamei Abaye. There was a Tana who taught Braisos, and he said the opposite. He said, you can eat the rest of the egg if the blood was on the yolk. But if the blood was on the white, then the whole egg is prohibited. So that's what the Tana had said.
The opposite.
Right. Abaye said to him, you're all wrong. It's the opposite. Abaye who Abaye was the one who explained to him the brisa this way, saying, no, if the blood is on the top of the white, that means it just started, it hasn't spread through. If the blood is on the yolk, that means it already spread through, so then the whole egg is prohibited. Okay, Amar Chizkiah said, Minayin lebeitzas tmeya sheyasur min haTorah. What's the source that an egg from a non-kosher bird is tamei midoraisa? So I see here in the footnote they ask, what do you mean? What's the source? Kalayotze min hatamei tamei. Whatever comes from the non-kosher is non-kosher. What do you mean? I need a source to tell me that it's not kosher? So the answer is you might have thought that eggs, by definition, are not that rule, like milk, because the egg comes from a living creature. The living creature is not allowed, but the egg from the living creature is allowed. So we don't say it comes from a non-kosher, it's still non-kosher. So maybe in eggs, we say eggs are always kosher. So how do we know that the eggs of the non-kosher birds are not kosher? The answer is, Shanamar, in the list of the non-kosher birds, it says, Es bas haya'ana, the child of the ya'ana. So what's the bas haya'ana? That must mean the egg of the ya'ana. Bas yeshla liya'ana. Now, the word bas literally means a daughter. Does the ya'ana have a daughter? Does it have a live birth like humans, that they give birth to males, they give birth to females? Elos, what does it mean, bas haya'ana? Beitzas tmeya, the egg of the ya'ana, the egg of the non-kosher bird. So Gemara says, one second, maybe there's a bird called bas haya'ana. V'dil mahainu shmayu, maybe that's their name, bas haya'ana. So Gemara says, lo sagdat, if you can't think that, because there's a pasuk in Eicha, Gam tanim, even the tanim is the jackals, right? Even the jackals have love for their young. Choltzu shad, they produce, they undo a breast. Heniku gurehen, and they give milk to their young. But yet, Bas Ami, the daughter of my nation, La'achzar, has become cruel. Kaya einim bamidbar, like the einim in the desert. So you see that the name of the bird is not Bas haya'ana, the name of the bird is Ye'einim. What is the Ye'einim? Do they say what the Yana is? They don't know. Like the Ye'einim. So Gemara says, V'lo, how can you say that there's no creature called Bas haya'ana? But the verse says, in Micha. For this I will, eulogize. Asem mispade katanim. I'll make a eulogy like the jackal. Ve'evel, and mourning kivnos ya'ana, like bnos ya'ana.
They mixed in here ostrich.
So it's saying that the prophet is saying that we're going to mourn so much for the tragedies that are going to come onto the Jewish people, like the jackal screams at night, and like the daughters of the Yana. So you see, apparently, the daughters of Yana is a type of bird that screams at night. It's not the eggs of the Yana. So the Gemara answers that's not what the Navi meant. When it says kivnos Yana, it really means like the Yana about her banos. Ki Yana zu, like this Yana, shemisabela sal banea. When she's upset about her children, namely about her eggs. When she's upset about her eggs, she makes a lot of noise. And that's going to be my mourning for the tragedy of Yerushalayim. But really, there is no creature, Basayana. Asks the Gemara, is that so? What the verse says about Bavel. V'shachnu sham b'nos ya'ana. And they will reside there, the b'nos ya'ana. So that sounds like there's some creature, b'nos ya'ana. No, again, what it means is, the shachnu sham, they'll reside there, ki yana zu, like the yana, sheshochenes imbaneh, that resides with her children. But really the name is yana, not b'nos yana. V'aksib, but doesn't it say in the Navi Yeshayahu, techabdeni chayas hasadeh, she will honor me the wild animals of the field, tanim, the jackals, uvnos ya'ana, and the bnos ya'ana, ki nasati v'amidbar mayim, for I've given in the desert water, naharos b'yishimon, lashkos ami b'chiri, to give water to my chosen nation. So what the verse is saying, that in the future, God is going to help the Jews through the desert, and he's going to put rivers in desolate places when they come back to Tzion and Yerushalayim. And then all these creatures are going to be honoring Hashem for having produced water in these places that didn't have water. Now, V'yisal Kadaitach, if you're going to tell me that Bnos Hayana is Beitza, is the egg of the Yana. Beitza Basmei Marshirahi. Can an egg say song? Can an egg praise God that now it has water? That's not what's happening. So Gemara says, okay, Eloksiva Yana. You're right. Sometimes it's called Yana, Uksiv Basayana. And sometimes this bird is called Basyana. So now you asked me, so how do we know that when Basayana is listed as a non-kosher bird, it means the eggs of the Yana? Maybe it means the bird called Basyana. I'll tell you like this. Here it's different. The Pasak Safra L'Shtei Tevos. Hashem, the scribe of the Torah, divided the word Basayana into two separate words. If it was a name of a creature, it would be one word. Put it all together, Basyana. But because maybe there'd be a hyphen between it, but it'd be one word. But here where there's no hyphen, it's all two separate words, it's two different things. It is the eggs of the Yana. Since the scribe Hashem has divided it into two words, you see Trey Shemos Ninhu. It is two names. In other words, it is the daughter of the Yana, namely the egg of the Yana. So the Gemara says, one second, many times we have what is really one word that is divided into two words, right? For example, when it lists the four kings who fought Avram, then now, Es Kedar Laomer, the Pasuk Lu Safra Betray, where Hashem divides it into two, Chaf Daled Reish, and then Lal Mid Ayin Vav Mem Reish. So, Hachanami Detarti Shmei Ninu. So is that two different names? Is it Kedar and Laomer? No. So the answer, there's a difference. Ami Hasam B'Shtei Tevos Pasuklu. Maybe he divided it into two words, but he would never let it be on two lines. B'Shnei Shitin Lo Pasuklu. You could write Chaf Daled Reish and then Laomer, but not on two lines, in one line. Avol but here when it comes to bas hayana, afilu b'shnei shitin nami pasuk lehu, he's willing to have bas on one line and yana on the other line. So that's a sign that it's two separate words. And as two separate words, it's not a reference to a type of bird. Bas yana. Here it means the actual daughter of the yana. It means the eggs. That's the source that the eggs, just like the eggs of the bas yana aren't, just like the eggs of the yana aren't kosher. We learn from there that all the eggs of non-kosher birds are non-kosher. And that's our source in the Torah, that the eggs of the non-kosher birds are not kosher.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rabbi.
Rabbi